Hey guys, Pat here from Rain Country Homestead, and we just about wasn't going to film this video, but as a lot of us know who are in the self-sufficiency mindset, knows that you have to be at times a plumber, sometimes you have to be an electrician, sometimes you have to be a carpenter, sometimes you have to be real inventive, think outside the box, know about healthy foods, and well, sometimes you have to be the sanitary guy or the guy who has to get into the plumbing. What goes in must come out. So whether or not you're totally off the grid, totally on the grid, or somewhere in between, if you're looking for the quest for self-sufficiency, well, this is just another one of those life's little pleasantries that you have to experience in order to get yourself to that point of independence. So thought I'd take you along today. Got all this all of our stuff out of here so I can get in here, and the first thing we've done is check the P-trap, and of course it wasn't plugged. Both of the sinks, the left and the right hand sink, both are draining slow, so that means it's either the P-trap or past the P-trap. If it was just one sink draining slow, it would be you know, maybe this pipe here, but unfortunately both the sinks are draining slow, so that means that this part here is cleaned out, and so it's from the P-trap. We took the P-trap out, removed that, and just cleaned it up. Mrs. Rain was helping me on that. So now what I need to do is get in farther and find out where the clog is. So far, before I started filming this adventure, we took the P-trap out. That's that round part that runs underneath the sink and traps any heavier sediments inside the P-trap. Well, we've removed that, and so now that's clean and clear. But now up in here, I need to remove this elbow here, and get in here with a what I call a bladder jetter. Well, I think they call it something different in the store, but you know, in all my experience, I've called that a bladder jetter. Just in case folks don't know, this is a P-trap. So we removed this and cleaned it out, and so this was clear. There was no obstructions in this at all. No, get a clear picture of that, just in case folks don't know about it. What's really cool, if you have the opportunity and you have metal P-traps, they do make a P-trap with a removable drain on the bottom of this P-trap, to where you don't have to remove this out of service. You just remove the little plug on the bottom. But I haven't seen any of those in plastic. They might make them, but that if you're out and about and you're needing to replace some plumbing, you might consider getting one of those, because they're really handy to have. So anyway, I'm looking back in here, but this part here, I need to remove that. So I cheated a little bit. I got in here before I started filming, and I loosened this with a pair of channel locks, adjustable pliers, if you want to call that correct, and loosened this plumbing nut. So before I remove that, I put a little catch-all bucket in there to catch anything that comes out. Okay, so now I have access to the outflow side of this thing. I have this thing charged with water and shut off at this little valve. These are also a handy little item to have. So if you have a long section of hose, or you have two hoses in line with each other, you have this little valve here. You don't have to go clear back to the spigot or a tap and shut off your water in case you need to shut it off for any reason. I like to put these little devices, well, I'll actually show you. I'm not going to take that one, I'm not going to take the valve off there because I have water charged up to there and I don't want it to leak. But that's what these little guys look like when you purchase them in the store. Like I say, I call them bladder jetters. And this little device, if I get it in the camera in the view, that's the little valve I was telling you about. And that's got just a little ball valve on the top of it there. That way I can control the flow of water inside the house or wherever I'm at. And it's really handy. That way I don't have to run outside and shut this off at the service or at the tap. And so I just insert a little bladder jetter inside the outflow pipe into the wall, and then I turn this on. Right now that is actively flushing the line. Now if you have any venting going up above the roof line, we're going to see real quick if this can't overcome the blockage, or whether it actually starts to spray out the top of the vent line that runs up the wall. If you don't have the vent line, you're going to have vacuum and this thing won't drain right. So I just let this run for a while. I'm going to run outside and see if the vent lines aren't filling up and overflowing, because that's a possibility. If that's the case, I'll have to go up there and plug those in order to get the pressure to be diverted completely outside. Yeah, the vent that you see just right above that flowered pot right there on the roof, that is the vent that is hooked to the kitchen sink. And so far it's not running. It's not boiling out of the top of that. So we'll let that run for a little while and flush the drain line for the kitchen sink, and hopefully we'll be back in business here in a few minutes. Now the trick is to get this stuff to seal. Now I found out in my plumbing experience that plastic seals easier than metal. I put all this stuff on here kind of loose, kind of work it together. You don't want anything to really be strained, so I kind of tighten everything up on equal fronts. Just kind of work it around a little bit, let it seat itself. In my experience, that seems to be the best way to do it. You just keep tightening them up at equal intervals. Now the test to see if it leaks. I like to run some hot water through there to drain that, help flush anything else out that might be in there. So far so good. Check on my joints, see if they're not weeping. I get them to be ponding up in the corners. You get some ponding up in here, some weeping around the edges here. All my edges look pretty good. I don't see any leaks, so success. Go up here and see if the sink's leaking. Draining beautifully. Well, no leaks so far. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody out. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Thanks for watching.